Hello students, welcome to biology class. In this session, we're going to study about the chapter Organism and Population, the topic Abiotic Factors. Before that, the recap session. What is ecology? Ecology is the study of science which deals with the population interaction between the organism and among the organism and with the physical entities. Okay, so the ecosystem is what? The interaction between the biotic components and abiotic components. Today we are going to discuss about abiotic factors. Students, in the chapter Organism and Population, we are going to discuss our next topic about the major abiotic factors. So you know what is the abiotic factors? Yeah, see if it is the ecosystem, they are the two type of the components. So what are they? One is abiotic and other one is biotic. So abiotic, it means absence of biotic, yes or no. So the non-living component, we will be calling that as abiotic components. So here, what are all the major abiotic factors which are involved in this? See, first one is about the temperature, second one water, third one is light, and fourth one is soil. Now we're going to deal with them deep. Students, so in this topic we're going to discuss first about the temperature. So temperature refers to heat. Yes, so it is the most ecological relevant environmental factor where how it is observed seasonally. The average temperature on land varies. The temperature decreases progressively from the equator to the poles and from plains to the mountain top. Okay, so the range of temperature varies from sub-zero levels in the polar area to the 50 degrees Celsius at high altitude in the tropical desert in summer. So the temperature can affect the kinetic of enzymes and through its basal metabolism and other physiological function to the organisms. So based on this, it classified into two types, one is euthermal and other one is stenothermal. I repeat the term, euthermal, stenothermal. Thermal refers to heat, okay, temperature. So the organism tolerating the high range of temperature, we will be calling that as a euthermal. And the organism which can tolerate narrow range of temperature, we will be calling that as a stenothermal. Okay, so in this temperature, there are very important questions about euthermal and stenothermal. So what is U? U is a true, okay, so true heat. So the organism tolerate the high range of temperature will called as a euthermal. The organism which can tolerate the narrow range of temperature is called stenothermal temperature. See, the temperature depends on only the increase and decrease of the heat. Okay, so that's all about the temperature. So next we're going to proceed with water. Water, see, without water we cannot survive, right? Yes. So it is the next important factor as life is unstable without water. So the amount of water in the environment determines the productivity and distribution of plants. So again here we will be calling here as a urealine and stenoaline. Okay, so in temperature we learnt about the thermal, euthermal, stenothermal. Here in water we will be learning about the urealine, stenoaline. So urealine the same. The organism tolerating the wide range of salinities are called urealine, and the organism that tolerate only the narrow range of salinities are called stenoaline. So for the most aquatic habitat, the quality of water body becomes like the important one to focus. Okay, when you study about the water, the important material to focus in water is about the pH value, the salinity level and the temperature of water. So next we move on to the light. See, light is very essential to the plants, okay, because the plants will be the producer. And even every organism depends upon the light. See, when you see the temperature, soil, light and water, so without, there will be the interconnection between all these abiotic factors. So if you see one by one, without that we cannot be surviving that. So the light plays a major role. So light is important because it is an autotroph. See, what is autotroph? Self-production of food with the help of the sunlight. So make food with the help of the light. Photosynthesis process will be, and all we studied in the grade 6, 7, 8. And oxygen is evolved during this process. The small plants like herbs and shrubs can perform the photosynthesis under very low eye conditions and they are overshadowed by tall trees. The plants depend on sunlight to meet the photoperiodic requirement for flowering. Okay, see, not only the plants, even animals, light is important in that they use the diurnal and seasonal variation in light intensity and duration. See, if you take a one day, okay, so if you will be like separating the two periods, so morning, afternoon, evening and night. Okay, so there will be the four different shades for the light. So morning and evening. So morning till the evening, where the sunrise and sunset, we will be like involved only protected by the light. Okay. So next one is about, see, the light will be acquiring of these duration will be called as a photo period. So photo means a light. The period is a duration. See why we need this light? It is the cue for timing the foraging, reproductive and migrative activities. Okay, so that's all about light. So next we move on to soil. Soil, the nature and properties of soil varies with different places. So the nature and properties of soil depends on the climate and weathering process. See, if you take the soil, there will be the types of soil called red soil, alluvial soil, black soil, most soil is there. Okay, so the soil composition will be like a grain size, and aggregation determine the percolation and water holding capacity of the soil. See, you have in 12th standard, you will be having the water holding capacity of the soil to perform with the experiment. Okay, so we will be doing practically to study about the capacity, how much the water can hold the soil. So, the vegetation is an area is determined by some soil parameters like pH, mineral composition and topography. So, that's all about soil. So today we discussed about the major abiotic factors are temperature, water, light, soil. See, if you study about each one, so each one plays a different role, but without this role we cannot be survive our life. Okay, so to continue the biotic factors, to continue the biotic life, we need abiotic. So there is an interaction between the abiotic component as well as the biotic component. It leads to the ecosystem. Next, we're going to discuss about responses to abiotic factors. So, how do these organisms going to be response? See, during the course of million years of existence, many species would have evolved a relatively constant internal environment that permits all biochemical reaction and physiological functions to proceed with maximum efficiency. So, that enhances the overall fitness of the species. The organism try to maintain the constancy of its internal environment. So that process we will be called that as hemostasis. Okay, so despite varying external environmental conditions that tend to upset us, hemostasis. How do organisms cope with the environment? See, regulate, confirm, migration, suspend. So these are the things where the organism cope up with the environment. How do living organisms cope with environment? In that first we're going to discuss about the regulate. See, regulate is nothing but the thermoregulation and osmoregulation. See, in simple word, how we can able to manage the body temperature to maintain the constant one. Okay, so some organisms maintain the hemostasis by physiological and behavioral means. All birds and mammals and few lower vertebrate and invertebrate species maintain hemostasis by thermoregulation and osmoregulation. See, in lower grade, we studied about the poikilotherms. See, the cold-blooded animal and warm-blooded animals we discussed a lot about in regulates. The success of mammal is largely due to the ability to maintain a constant body temperature. See, the regulate, the important term to be noticed is about the ability to maintain a constant body temperature. In summer, actually we will be getting sweat, right? So when outside temperature is more, then our body temperature is also will be more. So we sweat profusely and the resulting evaporating cooling brings down the body temperature. Actually we were thinking that in summer we will be sweating. But why the sweating process is occur? Because to maintain our body constant temperature. Okay, to cooling down your body system. In winter the temperature is lower, we shiver. A kind of exercise that produces heat and raises the body temperature. So that will be opposite in winter. So plants do not have such mechanism to maintain internal temperatures. So that's all about the regulate. Next one is about conform. See, the majority 99% of animals and nearly all plants cannot maintain a constant internal environment. Their body temperature is determined by ambient temperature. The osmotic concentration of the body fluid change with that of the ambient water, how they consume it. Okay. So the osmotic concentration, such animals and plants are simply called as conformers. I repeat, the osmotic concentration of the body fluid change with that of the ambient water osmotic concentration. Such animals and plants are simply called conformers. So loss or gain of heat is a function of surface area. The small animal have larger surface area or relative to the volume. They lose body temperature, they will be like fast in lowering the temperature too. So they expend energy to generate body heat system through metabolism for adjusting. Therefore, very small animals are rarely found in polar regions. So that's all about regulate and conform. Next we're going to study about the migration. So the temporary movement of organism from the stressful habitat to a more hospitable area and return when favorable condition reappear is called migration. So this movement is called temporary movement. Okay, it's commonly occurs in birds. So next we're going to discuss about suspend. Some bacteria, fungi and lower plants under unfavorable condition slow down the metabolic rate and form a thick-walled spore to overcome the stressful condition. These spore germinates under onset of suitable environment. The animal that failed to migrate might avoid the stress by escaping in time. Example, bear goes in hibernation during winter. Snail and fig goes into estivation to avoid summer. Zooplanktons under unfavorable condition enter diapause, a stage of suspended development. So these are the stages: hibernation, estivation and diapause. Okay, so this will be the stages exhibit in the suspend. Students, in this session we studied about abiotic factors, involves light, water, temperature and soil. And also we discussed about the how organisms cope up with the environment. In that we detailedly study about regulate, conform, suspend and migrate. Thank you.